Once you're able to see the screen, let me know. You're able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So when it comes to US payroll, right, there are certain topics which I have identified. Already the tax fundamentals and tax reporter, these two topics we have already covered. Okay. So in upcoming sessions, so this is something which I'll be going to deep. Okay. Although there are some fundamental videos I have already created, definitely you can go through. Okay. But in
Okay.
these sessions, I want to go deeper. Okay. So only the specific for configuration and from implementation point of view, what are required, and from a live implementation from a support point of view, whatever required, I will just couple of notes also I'll be sharing with you. Okay, with that. Okay.
Okay.
In
Okay.
this way, we'll be going for this. And it is in accordance with your, I have also seen your document. Okay. I referred
Okay.
that as well. If anything is missing, definitely I will be keep adding here. Okay. This is just for the next upcoming session, this is which I have planned yesterday. Okay. And today we'll be going ahead with the garnishment. Okay.
Good.
So the
Okay.
garnishment, when it comes to the garnishment, what are the things we are going to see, what are the different, the theoretical part I have already covered, I will not be going again back. Okay, just an
Hmm.
overview. And
Okay.
basically then we will be going through the system directly. Okay,
Okay.
so this notes definitely I will be sharing with you, this garnishment which I have already prepared. There is a story or a business case I have prepared. Okay, and also from a hands-on point of view, what are required for us. Okay, so and
Okay.
hands-on configurations. Okay, from a overall info type, which are the key info types for garnishment, right? 194, 195, and 216. This is a commonly asked question in the interview. Okay, and how these are interlinked with each other. Okay, so this is something, okay, I will recommend to also you to practice. Okay, but now let's move on to, so when it comes to garnishment, directly we'll go to system and we will be learning what exactly the meaning of it. And from that, we will be seeing going deep dive into some more in-depth topic. Okay. And this PPT, I think, which is already covered in my videos and all, I think I have not shared. Okay. I have version 2 of it. Okay. This is more, I keep on adding more things here as well. So this is something which I'll be also sharing with you. You can have a copy of it. Okay. Which will
Okay.
be easy for you to revise and all for revision purpose. Okay, this will be helpful because in this sessions I'm focusing on the practical part. Okay, so for that reason I'm not showing the PPT, the PowerPoint presentation which I'm already prepared. Okay, earlier.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
this is I will be sharing with you today. Okay, so with that note, uh, any idea what is a garnishment as a layman?
Uh, I think it is a kind of deductions. Okay.
Hmm.
So how in India uh,
Hmm.
is the deductions like ESIR, any other native payments, okay, from gross
Hmm.
salary. So like
Hmm.
that, maybe they are going to some waste type deductions like
It is a definitely it is a reduction. It's a kind of a recovery, you can say. Suppose
recover.
somebody has taken a loan. Okay, in India we do not have a garnishment as such. Okay, there is
Yes,
another
yes.
way of doing it legally, but in US it is very much common because many people are defaulter there. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, so
mandatory for every
it is a
employee.
mandatory. Suppose let's say person is working for an organization and he has taken a loan from a SBI. I
Okay.
just in Indian context of it. If garnishment were in India, what would have happened? Okay, suppose
Okay.
you have taken a loan. Okay, and there are so many frauds also happening, right? It's starting from small to big, like Vijay Mallya and all those things are happening, Kingfisher, all those stuff, right? They couldn't have left the country for that, right? They would be, it would have been recovered from their all the properties and all. It could have been done. Okay, so I'll be giving a small example. I will not be going to this bigger scam and all. Okay, so
Okay.
like in India, let's say to have in a small example, a person has taken a loan, right? But he has not, he was supposed to submit his EMI and all, right? And he has similar example I have done, given it here, you can read it into, but I'm giving another example. So he has taken a loan, but he is not able to actually submit, means repay those loan amounts. Okay. So what it
Okay.
will do, suppose he is working for an organization, automatically from his salary it will be deducted. You don't have a choice. SBI, suppose his person has taken a loan, right? See, if garnishment was there, okay, it would have been possible that from his salary directly, SBI will take that money if the person is
Okay.
working professional. Okay, so that is an perfect example. The garnishment is a will be sent. First of all, it will not be automatically happen. SBI or the bank, okay, if the person has taken a loan, they will send a notification to the employer where the employee is working, and after that getting a notification, so bank will try to recover that from his salary on a regular basis. Okay, so this is something in a crude example. Okay, but this is how it works in US. This is very strict. Okay, they are, it's not like in India. Okay, they are very strict here. Still, people, there are legal clauses, there are legal things. Okay, and for that reason, in US there is a specific program called garnishment. Okay, and those things are taken care mostly by the employer. Okay, unless or there is another example like it is also applicable for, as I have given a student loan example or a any kind of loan example I have given, or there can be also a child support also needed. Okay, so child support, maybe one of the person, let's say there is a divorce. Okay, and he has to take care of the child of the previous spouse, right? So then in that case, this is a common case in the US. Okay, it may be strange for us, but in US it happens. Okay, a lot of cases that. So if somebody is divorced and all, so in those cases, child support to be taken care by the spouse, right? The husband actually, or something like that. So then the other spouse, he or she has to claim, and mostly this will be going to the employer again, the previous. If the person is not providing the child support related the compensations and all, okay, then they will be recovering that from their salary and all. So a lot of complicated things are there, okay, but those things are taken care in the, this is a legal thing there, okay, legal process that can be used for collect debt or fulfill obligations. Okay, collect debt, the example is your student loans or any kind of a loans you have taken. Fulfill obligations, that is the example is child support. Okay, so that is something you have to take care. Okay, so this is garnishment entire process takes care of that entire thing. Okay, this is at a high level. Okay, but how does it do and all? So this is the taken care by three things. We have a garnishment document, we have a garnishment order, we have an adjustment. Okay, so let's we will be from a SAP point of view. These are the three things important for us. Garnishment document. What does it mean? Basically, these three info types 194, 195, and 216. Okay, these are actually part of your garnishment process, right? But now this has already I have covered that YouTube video, you can watch it. Okay, but today I'll be showing the back end of it. Okay, so that video I'm not going to repeat, so you can watch it and let me know if you have any question on that. Okay, I have already covered in details. Also, there are detailed sections in the PPT as well. Okay, that part you can watch. Okay, but today I'll be going to show you something on the back end of it. Okay, so let me log in. I always forget the password. Just a minute. Let me stop presenting and I will log in and I will show you the system. Let me log into the system. Paste, welcome, 1, 2, 3. Let me share my screen once again. So let me know if you're able to see my screen. Yeah.
Yes, I can see.
Okay. So directly, I will be going to the configuration part. Yeah. So from a configuration point of view, I will go to directly to the payroll. And in the payroll, I do have US payroll. And then inside that, payroll USA. And here, after tax, we do have a garnishment. Okay. So this is the garnishment. We have three things here: master data, processing, and letters. Okay. So master data, definitely, what does it mean? Actually, here exactly your garnishment document comes into picture. Okay. So you can see for every cases we have only, these are valid for USA only. Okay. It is not valid for globally. Okay. So for that reason, these are coming under US payroll. And if you see here from a document perspective, there are 5 things here. Okay, so here we do, I think it's 5 things only. Yeah, document, we have a 5 things whenever you are configuring, and there are certain things which are standard in nature. If you want, you can utilize that directly also. Okay, so garnishment document can be different category. Okay, so depends upon actually what kind of whether it is a the example which I have given, it is support related. Okay, then it will be a support. If it is a tax related, somebody has not paid the tax, uh, federal tax means that central government tax or state government tax and all, or is there any service charges happening? These are different categories of garnishment, right? It can be possible. Mostly these are the common thing. Okay, these are the different types of garnishment category. Or in case if your organization is having something special, then you can also create a new entries and you can create a document category and put a text like that. Okay, this is very simple configurations, and we don't have to generally, it suffices most of the requirements, right? This is a, we call it a garnishment. Whatever the document you are producing, okay, so garnishment for garnishment, this will be falling into one of the category like this. Okay, so now create originator. Originator means actually whether it is mostly it is a court, okay, because if any legal case is happening, okay, I have used mostly in my projects, it is a court actually. Okay, and other than that, there are some other examples. If it is a government from government or something is coming up, attorney can be an originator who has actually started that garnishment. Okay, who has legally, okay, they have produced that garnish. So suppose if it's starting with court actually, so then suppose somebody filed a case, okay, in the court. Okay, so the court will sending the garnishment, okay, notification to the employer. Okay, so whenever you are originating this kind of a garnishment and all, you have to mention who is the originator of that garnishment. Okay, so that part will be maintained here, and it is more or less a similar thing. Mostly it is a code, okay, from my experience, right? Otherwise, it can be also possible some other things as well. Okay, depends. Yeah, but SAP is given an option. If you want anything to be added, you can also do that. Okay, but in general, we use the code actually. Okay, it's a code order and all. Okay, garnishment originator. Okay. So now next one is next 3 types remittance rule for bank transfer. Okay, because whenever you are fulfilling the garnishment order and all, definitely you have to pay money. Okay, you have to give some those amount to the bank, right? So what are the bank rule? Okay, so what whenever you are submitting your payment, okay, remittance is happening from bank, you have to define the rules here. If it is a government rule or if it is a bank specific rule, okay, so those rules actually you have to define here. So the remittance rule, government rule, and there is a company rule, and there is a modifier for company rule. Okay, this is again very straightforward. Okay, so in the remittance rule, what we do, let's say this is a child care example. Okay, so in case of a child care, the government your company has a policy or something. Suppose a state has a policy that the spouse has to give monthly, every month, let's say some thousand US dollar to the child for towards the child care or a child support, right? Then that part you have to maintain here. What kind of remittance rule? Suppose this is my rule, okay, and this as per this rule, every 15th of every month there will be a electronic fund transfer. Just like in India, we do have NEFT, right? Similarly, you have to let the person has to give a check or keep that particular amount to be deducted from the salary. And how does it look like? If you go select this particular rule, okay, and if you go inside it by clicking this details, this is how the look your structure looks like. The remittance rules look in detail. It looks like, okay. So here you can see there are different type of transfer interval. Okay, so it can be these are the possible interval. Okay, like whether it will be 8 times monthly, 4 times monthly, 1 time monthly, 15th a particular month, end of the particular month, or end of the quarter, or end of the year. Okay, these are the different possibilities we do have. Okay, and same thing you have to configure accordingly as per your client need. Okay, so this is something a configuration again, and here if any post transaction is postponing or these are any grace period is there, whether you are allowing a grace period of okay, by suppose it's falling on a holiday, okay, Saturday, Sunday, if you are want that kind of a grace period, okay, that also you can put it here. Okay, and it is very specific to US, so do not have to change this one. Okay, this is the payment method, and this is the bank transfer. Okay, this is the bank transfer directly happens. Okay, or it can be generally these days nobody uses check and all. Okay, but mostly it happens with direct debit or a bank transfer like that. Okay, so whatever is options are available. Okay, so mostly we use that. Okay, so this is an example where exactly we configure those remittance rule. Or if in case if it is something else, let's say if instead of 15th it is 25th or some other date, right? So that part you have to accordingly configure. Okay, so this is something, and same is applicable for other rules. Okay, suppose if you see any other rules as well. Okay, garnishment remittance rule, similar kind of a rule you'll be finding here. Okay, grace period, they have given a grace period of a calendar days. How many days of calendar days? 10 days. Number grace is 10. That means plus or minus 10 days is allowed. Okay, this is for Canada. They have example. This example was given for Canada. Okay, but similar kind of rule also we can create for US as well. Okay, US, Canada, mostly they use this similar kind of a stuff. Okay, and you can look into it in this configuration. Nothing much. Okay, only we define when the deduction will happen. Okay, because definitely your organization is knowing that definitely some deduction will happen, but when that deduction will happen, that part actually we define. So for that reason, it is called bank transfer rule for HR creditor. Okay, so HR will be means from a, it will be taken from the employees. Okay, and it will be credited via HR to the organization who has claimed, whether it is a court or it is any school or any bank. Okay, that organization will account amount will be credited to that. Hmm. So this is one of the remittance rule. Okay. Similarly, there is something called government rule. Okay, so government rule, again, this is a little tricky. Okay, so for every states in US, they have their own specific thing. Okay, and if you see one of the example here for Arizona, there is a support and there is a remittance rule for that. Okay, it is 10999. For here in this configuration point of view, it is an immediate remittance. That means immediately as soon as somebody has raised, so this is to be raised. Okay, again depending upon the policies for that states. Okay, because different states have their own different policies. Okay, we have to abide by those laws and policy, and this government remittance rule will be covering that. Okay, so like whether it is a semi-weekly, monthly, immediately. Okay, all the things are taken care, and based on your uh, policies specific to the particular state and all. Okay, that part we have to take care. So this is something technology point of view I'm explaining, but from a process point of view, if you want to understand, you have to read it a little bit. Okay, what is the remittance rule for those once you start working, and you don't have to, even I don't have to remember all the stuff. Okay, generally these things will be given by your HR if you're working for a US client. Okay, they will be providing the details. Okay, what are the notification if any rule changes is happening. Okay, so there are different categories also you can see. If it is something here, as I was saying, right? The six type of category we have seen earlier, right? Whether creditor, federal tax, support, state tax, voluntary service charge, right? So in case here, mostly they have used SSS type, that is a support, is a child care support. That's the most highest priority in US. Okay. Suppose somebody, because
Okay.
that case of the cases are common in US. Okay. People living, okay. So
Correct.
generally, that is a very common in the US. So for that reason, to take care of the child and all, right? Child care support is one of the most highest priority in it when it comes to garnishment order and all. So for that reason, for almost all states, you can see S is common here. Okay, Arizona, for Connecticut, for Maryland, Minnesota, New Hampshire, Oregon, South Dakota, Wisconsin. For almost all, support is a common thing. Okay. Other than that, they do have some states they do have a creditor. Some states they do have state tax. Okay, somebody has not paid the tax, then it will be recovered. Okay, so these are the different government remittance rules, and these are all remittance rule. It is actually immediate. That means there is no excuse. Okay, so in this I have configured in this way. Okay, but again it will vary from state to state, and that part you have to always look into the garnishment rules for the states from the government websites. Okay, so those will be taken care mostly by HR, and those legal people they will be helping you. Okay, and there are also in some organizations, most of the organizations they do have a garnishment officer. Okay, the person who will be handling all this because it's so complex. Okay, so if generally a dedicated person or a team, actually if it is a bigger organization, They generally have a dedicated team. In one of my projects, there is a dedicated team who are only handling garnishment. Okay, every month. So those people usually they will not be doing the configurations, but they have reports and all. They will verify those reports if anything is missing and all. Okay, but these are actually from a consultant point of view. You have to know. Okay, there are some front end reports as well for garnishment and all. We will see that. Okay, so this is a government rule here. And similarly, we do have a company rule as well. So after that, I will come into the modifier. So so here I do not have any entries, okay, because I have not defined any configurations for my county. It is not a country; it is a county. You can say, okay, sorry, it's a country only. Sorry, so this is a country. Some cases it will be a county as well. Okay, so here I will be definitely choose US. Okay, so I think yeah, US will be coming to the end. So let me show you these configurations as well. Let me choose USA. And the state will be, let's say this is one of the state for US. I will choose, let's say, Illinois. And the descriptions are not really needed. So I will be just here, I will be putting a remittance modifier. Okay. So here remittance modifier and document category. Okay. So that details I have to put. So this, let's say I will be creating a document category support for that particular state. Okay. Suppose if it is not been created for company, okay. If you're having some company specific rule, okay, you can also create those. Okay, let's say I'll be using it as a semi-weekly. Okay, so that is something I will be reading here, and I will simply save it. Okay, so I will create my own request. So this is a PYUS garnishment configuration, garnishment, my name, followed by today's date, that is 19th. Okay, 19 April. So this configurations I have done a little bit. And other than that, this the same way, if your organization is having in presence in 10 different states and you are having your company specific rule as well. Okay. So that way also you can do it. It is flexible. Okay, you can government rules definitely have to obey. But at the same time, if your company is having some company specific rules or industry specific rules, that you can come here and you can simply define here. Okay. So this is something we have to do of our own at the organization level. Okay. So after that, there is something called modifier for a company rule. Okay. So what does it mean? This is actually a feature. Okay. So if you have to default some remittance modifier, that you can do it from here. Okay. This is something. Okay. So based on your organizations, based on your PAPSA, if you want to do something, some changes and all, right, you can do that changes. Again, this is a subjective. It is not mandatory to do, but this will be helping you to default your remittance modifier. And yeah, I think here we are not using it. Okay. So that you can, whenever you will be seeing there is an option here, this is an optional here. Okay. If I want to change something, I can always come here. And if I've defined that I can put here in this, that value. But that is not a mandatory thing to do. Okay. But from a configuration point of view, it is an optional. You can do that. So this is your from a remittance rule point of view, where exactly you define the remittance rule for bank transfer. In general, there is a government rule. There can also a company specific rule. You can create all these rules by coming here. Okay. Any question? I will take a pause here.
No.
No, right? Okay.
No.
So now coming back to the next part. Okay. So after understanding these rules and all, there is a service charges also, because these are all services, right? There will be definitely some service charges for that. Okay. So that you define here. Okay. So again, same thing, whatever we have seen for remittance rules, right? Similar kind of stuff for service charges also. What kind of service charges you are doing? Okay. There will be some service charges for support, for creditor, federal tax. Okay. For every states, okay, you can have a service charges again under different this category. So category remains the same. So here we do have 6 different types of category: federal, support, state, voluntary service charges, and all. So here, based on your requirement, you can put your things here. Okay. So this is the where exactly you create your service charge text actually. Okay. Similarly, for service charges also, we can have a government rule. Okay. So again, this is just for your representational purpose only. I have just given some example. Okay, so what kind of service charges will be there, one or two? Okay, so this means creditor or it is a, okay, so that rules actually we have to define here. Okay, and when that is starting actually, so that, okay, so here I put in like some random date. Okay, if it is starting year from 2021, 2022, 2023, like that, that also we can do. You can make a new entries, and if you want to see one of the service charge rule, if you go inside it, how the calculation is happening, they have mentioned here. Okay, so charge one, okay, charge two, they have given an option. Okay, and what is the value and what is the pay period amount? So for a pay period, how much is the amount? Okay, whether a percentage or pay monthly amount or a weekly amount. Okay, that you have to put it here. And how much is the monthly? So here I have not decided any maximum limit for a monthly. Okay, if you want that also, we can put it here. And there is any minimum maximum indicator, that also you can put it here. These are all optional things, but this is something we can put it here. Type of withholding, but whether it is a non-exempted earning or exempted earning. Okay, so all the options are technically available here. Okay, so based on your need and based on your regulations for government and all, okay, you can do that changes by coming here. So this is a government rule. Similarly, we do have a company rule as well at a company level. Okay, so based on my document category and all, so I will be having a specific process ID and specific service charges for that. Okay, whether it is a creditor, whether it is a support, okay, federal tax and all. Okay, if I go inside, similar kind of a configuration. Okay, for this is a support, for support, this is the amount. Okay, 11 charge pay
That
period
is
amount.
amount in the sense unit to amount. Can you explain that exactly? It's going to
Huh.
calculate dollars or value $11
Yes,
or
yes,
how?
yes. Yeah, yeah. It will be US for US specifically, it will be a dollar. Okay. So value, so per unit. So it will be having, so pay period amount. So I'm saying here I've selected pay period amount. That means whatever the pay period I have decided. Let's say if it is a, I have decided it is a monthly or it is my pay period is a weekly payment. Okay, I'm doing
Hmm.
a, giving employee to a weekly payment, right? Or
Hmm.
if I'm paying a monthly payment. Okay, as per that, system will calculate, and this will be going to this 11 USD. Okay, it will be deducted from their salary. Okay, so that is something you have to take care. Okay, the companies take care of it, and that amount actually you have to, it will be deducted. It will be not deducted whenever the calculation will happen in the garnishment and all. Okay, there will be a charges. Okay, so that service charges will be added to the total amount. Okay, so this will be coming up whenever the garnishment calculation happens. I will be showing you that in a short while. Okay, in the, there is a schema for it. Okay, there is a complex, not a complex, this is a standard schema for it, and where exactly this calculation happens. So you don't have to do this calculation manually. Okay, system takes care of it, and this is something, it is inside your schema. So as for this value, this amount will be generally given by the, there is some notification, and based on that, what should be the standard actually? What should be the value? You cannot put something randomly here. Okay.
Hmm.
So for testing
These are the
purpose,
standard
definitely,
values, right? For every
definitely for every state, so they will be having, and again it depends actually for company to company also. There is a, this is a government rule. Okay, and also for at a company level, this is a, okay. There is a government rule here we have seen. Okay, so here also we have an amount, right? Suppose if I go here, so here we have an amount also, right? 10 USD or something like that, right? Suppose I have an another amount at a company level also I can define. Government rule is fine. Okay, based on that we can define. But in some organization, they do have their own specific over and above whatever is government is deciding. Suppose there is some union. Okay, so they have decided they have some agreement. Okay, so based on that, what kind of service charges you can have in your organizations, that part you can bring in here. Okay, in the company rule, here we can charges. Okay, make those charges. Okay, these are the something which you have to look into. Okay, similarly, there is a, your default service charge modifier as well. That also you can utilize in your, if it is needed in your organization, definitely you can utilize this feature. Okay, so this is something we have to take care when it comes to service charge. This is an additional thing. Okay, similarly the number range, why we need a number range? Just like we have, whenever you are creating a employee ID, we have seen the number range, we require a number range. Number feature is there. Okay, similarly, whenever you are doing any kind of a garnishment also, the while doing the garnishment transfer, okay, so you will be having a number range for that. Okay, so this is how a number range, you can define a number range for that. Okay, at present, I do not have any garnishment order in my system. So for that reason, the NR status is showing as 0. Okay, but you can have a garnishment number. Suppose, let's say you want to also create separate garnishment number for different category. Suppose for child care support, you want the specific number range. Okay, maybe you want to, let's say, 7 times 0. Okay, but for court order related to the bank and any tax related stuff, you want to create a different number range. You can have a, let's say, starting from 1 to some other number, say 2 lakh, 2 crore to some other 3 crore. Okay, so that kind of number range you can utilize. Okay, this is again something you can create whenever you are doing the implementation. So I have seen organization, they create different number ranges for different category, okay, of garnishment. Okay, garnishment order. Okay, that also you can
Where
define
we
here
can
by
create
coming.
actually, there is no new entries here.
So what you can do, if you, I have just selected this interval
Okay,
for
okay,
view purpose.
interval.
Okay, if I go
Zero
here,
to
I can definitely
now.
create new entries here. Okay, insert line, I can create like this. Okay, so I'm not doing that, but you can create always 0 to. Okay, let's say I'll be creating something here starting from. So for that, I have to truncate it. So I don't have to use this. I have to use, let's say, 9 7 times 0. Okay, and from 9 6 times 0 1, I will start a new number range. Okay, this is also I can do from starting here till, let's say, 9 1. Okay, otherwise all the numbers will be finished within that range. So I'm just, let's say, this is my number range for another category. Okay, that you can define always based on your requirement. Okay, so this is something. Okay, I think interval is already existing saying. Okay, so I have to choose cautiously whatever the number range I'm selecting. Okay, so I have to choose, so 1 to 9 7 times 0. Okay, so from here again, I have to choose something else. Okay, so interval 0 1 already. So I'm trying to, actually, what is it showing to say that already existing, I'm trying to create the same thing again. Okay, so instead, actually, we have to create something new. So this is again, you can do it. Okay, so this is something we have to, okay, click this plus button, and whatever the number range is fitting to your, means for your discussion with your client. Okay, you can have that number range. Like it can be like 8 digit. Okay, it will always 8 digit number. Maybe it's starting with 1. Okay, you can fix that number till 1 till let's say it will be till, okay, 1 9 9 9, or up to this you will be having a different number range. Okay, you can create like this. Okay, so I think this is already taken, somebody has already used this number range, so for that reason it is not allowing me, it is saying already existing. Okay, I cannot create something here. Okay, otherwise this is the way. So this is where exactly you can come and you can create your number ranges for HR vendor. Okay, so this is one part. Okay, other than that, if you want to create a number range for vendor, different vendor subgroup, there is another one. Okay, so this is something where nothing is there. Okay, but if you want, you can also create, again depending upon the organization. Okay, if they want to use it or not. So vendor subgroup in the sense, let's say again, when it comes to support, okay, you may be having a child care support, you may be having some let's say parent support, so depends actually. So, and also different category who is a vendor in those cases, right? Accordingly, you can create this subgroups by, this is super easy, nothing much. So you have to just mention the which number to which number will be falling into which number range category. Okay, so that part we configure here. So this is something related to the number ranges, and these are all related to your master data document type. Okay. So now coming to the order types, if you see here, definitely we will be having specific wage types, right? Because otherwise how system will understand, okay, which deduction will happen and via which wage types. Okay. So that wage type configuration happens here. Okay. So for it, this is very similar though to the way we create a wage type, right? Using OS 11 T code or directly from here. If you go here, okay, it will allow you to copy, and actually by default in my system it is showing 40. Okay, otherwise you have to change it, and you have to change this grouping and all, right? And accordingly you have to choose your specific. So in my system, because the user ID which I'm using, it is defaulted to US, sorry, India payroll. Okay, Otherwise, I can directly go if I want to create a specific wage type for specific to your US, right? That catalog I can choose, and accordingly I can create that. Okay, how to create that? So basically, so here I can see. Let me check if anything is related to garnishment. Okay, I can see there are 610. Okay, so when it comes to the waste types, I have a basic question for you. If you have gone through my videos, okay, what are the different types of waste types? Did you remember? If you watched my video,
Uh, Actually, I did not remember.
okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. So here at present, I think I do not have any waste type for this US. Okay. But if I want to create any specific waste types for US and all, okay. So the waste types falls into two different major category. One is whatever the waste type we are seeing in the with slash starting with a slash, right? /001, /002. These are all secondary waste types. Okay. That means these are all created from the system. I have not created manually them. Okay, mostly these are statutory. Okay, and if you see any waste types which is coming with a number, so let me show you one of the examples. Let me go to uh, specific example. Let me go give you. Let me show you something here. Garnishment. Huh. There is a specific /OH11, that is a transaction code we generally use for creating a waste type. Okay. So here, what I can do, so generally it is showing in here in India SSP example only. Okay. But here I have to choose a particular model waste types. Okay. And from that model waste type, I will be copying. Okay. And from that, accordingly, I will be able to copy the respective waste type. Okay, that is here we'll be having the standard waste type. Okay, the standard waste type will be like this. It will be starting with some M or something like that. No, it will be SAP will be giving you that list actually. Okay, so here in my case, okay, I will just checking it out if anything is there. Starting with M. No, I think these are all secondary waste types only I'm having here in this list. Okay. But anyway, so you have to actually generally put to the standard waste type here. Then whatever the customizing waste type you are creating in the series, okay, that waste type number and what is the meaning, what is the purpose of that waste type, okay, that you have to put it here. Okay, so this is the example, okay, where exactly you can copy the waste types and you can create your own waste types. Okay, so this is something generally people use when it comes to waste types and all. Okay, so similarly, we'll be having a waste type group for different order types as well. I'm just checking it out. So there's no entry as such as of now. Okay, so we can also have a waste type groups. Like let's say you are having a waste types related to your garnishment. You can have a group for that. Okay, all maybe or for childcare support you are having 2 to 3 waste types. Okay, that also you can group together all the list of waste types here. Okay, you can make new entries and you can put it here like this. So let's say mostly at present I'm actually because it defaulted to India. Okay. Otherwise, you can be having specific to your okay. How I will be changing that, what I can do. So there is an example. So I think just a minute. There is a way of doing it. Okay, let me go to that.
User parameter we have to change.
Yes, yes, yeah. Can you tell me the transaction? I forgot the transaction, but otherwise there is a configuration as well. You can go to the PM, personal administration. In that we have a setting here. So here, if I go somewhere, yeah, this is the one, maintaining the parameters. Okay. So what I will do, I will be defaulting to US, suppose. Okay. So United States, yeah. Parameters is now created for US. So I have not created the parameter for US. Okay. And accordingly, I can go and change. You can see for this now US has been big default one. Okay. And simply I will go. Your Molga is now 10. Okay. So if I go now, let me check it out if it is coming or not. Okay. Suppose if now if I go to the configurations and all, right? Let's say I will be going to a slash O, OS 11. Ideally, it should default to a US. Now you can see it is coming, right? Did you
Yeah,
understand what I changed? Right. It
yeah,
will be
yeah.
based on your user parameters actually. Suppose your user ID is linked to India, you cannot have those kind of configurations and so accordingly you have to check. Okay. So here, if I go
Okay.
here, I will be seeing only US specific thing. Okay. Mostly US specific thing I will be seeing here. And if I search from here, let's say I'll be putting here as a 9999 and waste type text maybe waste type, let's say I'll be putting something like if it is existing, it will come garnishment. No, I don't think so. It is there. That means there is no such waste types here. But I can also search here by free search. It is strange. It is not there. Okay, but ideally you will be having all these specific. These are all secondary waste types, whatever you are seeing now. Okay, but there will be also a model waste types. Okay, so let me put it something like this. There are 2,415 waste types. Okay, so you can see. So that you'll be getting from here directly if you put, because by default it will be showing only 500 entries. If you want to increase, make it a little higher. I have just made the more highest 9999. So that I will be getting how many waste types are there already for the US. Okay, these are again, you can see there are certain things for BSI, 41K. These are all specific for US. Okay, unemployment tax. They're all secondary wage types. Okay, wherever you're seeing EE, that is employee. ER means employer. Okay, so these are different terminology. Okay, if I scroll down here, let me check it out if anything is there. Garnishment and all. So, Social Security, Medicare, employer, all these things are here. Payroll expense, voluntary, premature. This entire series, check it out. Yeah. So it stops here. Up to this, these are all secondary wage types. Okay. And after that, we have whatever the tag wage types are there. You can take those example and you can create your own wage types. Okay. So you can see whatever you can see M series, right? These are your all model wage types. Okay. M001, M002. Okay. And generally, we do not directly use them. Rather, we copy these waste types. Okay, then we use them in our system. Okay, so we can see there are, yeah, so this is actually they have defined like a garnish. So this is a garnishment waste type. Can you see that? Garnishment, alimony or support, garnishment creditor, garnishment levy, service charges, voluntary. Suppose I want to create a waste types related to service charges. Okay, I have to copy this. Okay, so that all the backend configuration I do not have to remember. Okay, so SAP has already given a model waste types for this. Okay, so these are the different model waste types for garnishment. You can see MG 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so these are the different garnishment specific waste types. Suppose I want to create a new waste type, simply I will go here, MG40. And custom waste types, what I can do, I will be putting some my own number. Let's say it is maybe I will be putting some random number so that 97. And this is my, let's say, garnishment. It was a service charges. Service charge. So it is not as a limit of a text. Okay. So similarly, I can put here CRV service charge. Okay, so I can do like this, and after that there is something called test run. Okay, so generally whenever we are doing this, we initially we do a copy here. Okay, So I have to select that actually. So unless and until I have not selected, it will not come. Okay. I have to select that and copy all entries. Okay. Copy this. Then in the backend, whatever the particular waste type, it will be updating this many tables, 336, around 10 tables. Okay. So these are tables actually gets updated. Okay. And these are different entries. You can see entry was made, and there are certain things you have to maintain manually as well. Okay. So this will be done. This is now the test part. Okay. Suppose if you have to really create this waste types. Okay. So simply remove that, test run. Okay. Then technically this waste types will be created, but you have to remember the waste type 4097, whatever I'm creating here. Okay. So let me do that. So this will be let in the same transport request. Okay. So this is the process you have to follow if you want to create a new waste types. Okay. By copying the standard model waste type. Okay. So this is the way, and same waste types you can utilize for employees at employee level. Okay. Whenever you are doing those deductions and all, right? So this is the way you have to configure. So this is the example. This you understood, right? This is one of the key things we have to do in an implementation. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now let me exit it. And now I will be going to the other part of it. So now we understood how to create a garnishment specific waste types, and now we have seen that, right? Now coming back to our payroll. So let me go there once again. So before that, let me close those two windows.
So how many waste step is there? We have to create in the same screen, right? Like
Same
different.
screen. So you can also create multiple waste types in one go. Okay, I have created so new one actually. Okay, otherwise you
Yeah.
can go here. Okay, as many as waste because many organizations they have a lot of things, lot of waste types creation. Okay, there's a part of the so as much as the screen can do it. Okay, so otherwise you can also copy here because there is a copy option. Okay, you can basically mostly I do it. 5, 4, 5, 6 like that in a one go. Okay, you can also see there is a list actually. So you can have as many as waste types you can create from here. Okay. Only thing is you should know what is my original model waste type and what is the corresponding number. Okay. So generally, whenever you're taking this thing, okay, we'll generally first you prepare an Excel sheet, the workbook which I have sent you yesterday, right? Similar kind of a workbook you will be preparing. Okay. And I think I will be showing you a garnishment workbook as well. Today I will be sharing that. Okay. So you can have to prepare a garnishment workbook. In that you maintain what are the fields you needed, what are the waste types you needed, right? So that waste type number you have to put it here, and you should know from which model waste type it should be copied. Okay. It may happen you are copying from the standard one. Okay. But you will be having different waste types. And at a waste type level also you can change. Okay. So what are the different characteristics? Okay. How it will behave and all. Okay, based on your requirement. Okay. That you can also change it later on. Okay.
This
So
number,
that will be.
customer number, we are going to use or assign, right? Maybe we have to
Yeah, so
link.
whenever you are creating a custom waste type, that custom waste type only will be using in your system. Okay, not the model. We never use model waste types in our system. Model waste types are given just like a template. We copy that and we use the custom waste types in our project. Got
Okay,
it?
okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah. And it is not only for US, for any module, for any payroll module in any country. Okay, SAP comes up with those kind of a model waste types, and by copying that, you can directly use them in your project. Okay, so that is the principle, and you can create multiple waste types in one go as well. Just like put here one model waste type, second model waste type, third model waste type, and the corresponding custom waste types. Okay, that number you have to put it and simply copy, and it automatically create here for that particular group. Okay, that is something you have to choose. And also if you want to make a group actually, okay, suppose you want to have a base type group. Okay, so you can have a group, one group for let's say travel related waste type, all the waste type related to the award. Okay, so you can see there is a group for benefits, there's a group for different taxes. Okay, garnishment also you can have a group like this: 6001, 6002, 6003, 6004. Okay, so we can have a garnishment technical group. Okay, suppose if you see any of this group, right? Okay, so you will be getting an idea how does it look like. Okay, so you can see when I have created this garnishment waste type. Okay, 4097. Actually, I have chosen the waste type group as a 6001. This is standard waste type group. Okay, And also I do have some model based type. Ideally, we should not have this model based types here. Okay. So all the customized type, whatever I have creating, let's say I have created a customized type for garnishment creditor, garnishment support. Okay. That I will be putting here. Okay. So that this will be coming here in the original waste type grouping. Okay. It will be helping you to understand which waste types are belonging to which waste type group. Okay. You can group them together. So that is the principle. Hmm. Other than that, if I go to the system once again, here when it comes to configurations, can you let me go to the payroll again for US. Here in the garnishment again. So we have talked about the master data, which is very important one. Okay. And here we have seen the order types as well. Okay. So there are different categories of documents, and we have order types. Okay, you can create those order types. Okay, and what are the amounts again? So this is a important concept here. I will recommend to look into, because this is already I have explained in my earlier video. You can watch that. There is something called net payment. There is something called disposable net payment. Okay, so disposable. Here there is a concept in US. Okay, so whatever the net payment, your net payment is not exactly same as your disposable net payment. Okay, so what is the concept here? So here, disposable means what exactly, what are the consideration when it comes to garnishment, early payment and all, right? What amount after those deduction, what will be the remaining amount? Okay, so that you can also define the model. There is a model also. Okay, how to define those basically those disposable amount and all. There is a model for it that we configure here. When I say disposable, do not think it is your net amount. Suppose you are having a gross salary of 1,20,000 US dollar. Okay, and your net payment is around let's say 90,000 US dollar. Okay, but your disposable net amount, maybe it will be less than that, because you have other some, okay, some garnishment amount will be deducted and some other deduction may happen. Okay, so that, so with considering those details and all, we have a concept in very specific to US that they call it as a disposable net income. Okay, so that is something we have to understand very carefully here. Okay, so I'll be giving some example here as well. If I go to the system, okay, if I go here in this, so yeah, so when it comes to the this disposable net income, okay, it will be like whatever your gross income you are having minus compulsory deduction. There are certain deductions which you do not have an excuse. Okay, so that will be a compulsory deduction, and there are certain deductions which are not compulsory, like it can be let's say some food payment is happening and you have opted out. Okay, let's say this month I do not want food coupons to be deducted. Okay, I can opt out. Okay, but when it comes to garnishment, you cannot opt out. Okay, so this is something we have to understand. There are some compulsory deduction will happen. Okay, like your taxes you cannot ignore. Okay, every state has their own taxes. Every, okay, you have a federal tax and all. Okay, so those deductions definitely you to be deducted from your salary. Okay, now that is something you cannot ignore. Okay, and those kind of configurations we do it from here. Okay, so how much will be your okay, so that kind of there are different models again based on the states. Okay, it is little complex. Okay, so but again SAP has made it simple because they have a defined different models for different states here. Okay, for US, so let's say you are staying in Connecticut. Okay, so in that state you'll be having for Connecticut support, you'll be having a specific disposable net. Okay, that details they will be provided. SAP will be giving you that model. Okay, similarly for every state you can see there are around 85 entries. Okay, almost. Okay, for every kind of support, Arizona child support, levy family support. Okay, for all this kind of a support, they have a SAP has already given this model, and definitely we have to utilize this model in our configurations. Okay, so this is something by default they have given. And if you want to create any kind of a adjustment model for those disposable net amount, okay, you have to define here and you have to choose that model. Okay, let's say you are working for Maryland or Massachusetts. Okay, So if you select or alienist, okay, whatever you are, select that particular model, okay, and if you go inside it, okay, so at present, I have not defined anything. Okay. But if I want what kind of adjustment I can do, okay, so that I can make a new entry here. And when it comes to type of payment, so whether it is like every month you want to, or every time period, whether you want to do that, that you can mention, or if it is a one time, okay, any special payment is happening, okay, based on the model, that kind of adjustment you can put it here. Suppose it's a one time or a special payment. Accordingly, you have to choose your waste types. Okay, so the waste types which you have might have created. Okay, so that specific waste types you have to utilize here. Okay, and those entry will go, and accordingly system will do all the calculations and all. Okay, this is something you have to take care whenever you are doing these configurations. Okay, and this again mostly regulated by most of the organization. So here you will be choosing your specific waste types. Okay, so whatever you have created. Okay, so let's say I have created something like this. Okay, so the one which I have created, I will just show you. Let's say this is 5,000. I have created 6097, right, or something like that, or 4097. Do you remember? Okay, this one I have created, right? So in this way, I can put I'm just putting a random one. Okay, but here choose that particular waste type, whether it is going to into disposable net or it is going to be disposable net with some charges. Okay, this is something you can choose the waste type indicator. Again, this is will be given by your government and also your company specific thing, and what percentage, it is a 1%, 2%, 3%. Okay, that you can, what kind of adjustment you are allowing. Okay, so that kind of configuration, that adjustment model, okay, you have to define here. Okay, so that you cannot have something random payment. Okay, and also there is something called baddie. What is a baddie? For this configurations, we have something called baddie. Baddie is a technical configuration, so you have to take help
Above
from your ABAP.
side, right?
ABAP. Sorry,
Uh, that is the above side, above technical.
ABAP side. Yes, technical side. Suppose some complex requirement coming up. Okay, then you have to take help from SAP ABAP. Okay, so they will be doing going to this configuration, and they will be doing some changes here. Okay, some enhancement they will be doing, and this falls under your RICEFW, the E part, RICEFW. I told you, right? So in the enhancement, if any enhancement they are doing for this configuration, so you can take help from your SAP technical consultant or ABAP. Yeah, they will be helping you, and for that you have to talk to them whether whatever the client has asked, whether it is feasible or not. Then only you can tell that, yeah, if it is possible, then you can do this enhancement. Okay, in the bad, we call it business add-in. Okay, business add-in. Okay, this is a kind of an add-in. For any case, if your client requires such kind of a configuration, so you can always do that. Okay, so this is a disposable net. Okay, so then next one is a non-exempt. Suppose you want to something to be non-exempted amount. Okay, so those details also we can configure, either there is a levy or any kind of if you want to create some exemption also, that you can also configure from here. Okay, so these are again what kind of exemption you want to give it. Okay, whether it is monthly, weekly, or okay, those details you will be finding in this setup. Okay, suppose I'm putting a new entry. Okay, I'll be giving again what kind of form. So those details, it's the okay, whatever the amount. This one I have not used much in my projects. Okay, but again, if it is applicable, okay, you can always choose these things. Okay, figuring any kind of additional exempt. Okay, in my project mostly they didn't give any exemption. Okay, but in case if your company is really relaxed and they want to give some kind of an exemption to the employee and all, okay, you can choose that. Okay, and when is the starting date, when is the end date, that all you can put it here. Okay, so this is not very frequently used. Okay, but SAP has given all these options, so I'm not going through details about it. Okay, but this is how your non if you want to create model for everything, they have given SAP given as a model for us. Okay, so how to create those models for that amount, create a model for hourly wages. Okay, so as after doing that, you have to assign your order type. Okay, so what kind of order types and what kind of service charge code is there. Okay, that you have to assign here. You can see in the service charge code, for support there is a service charge. Okay, but for federal tax there is no service tax. Okay, it depends. Okay, so what which service tax, because this is something the service charge order type we have created. Okay, so based on your requirement, again certain things were statutory in nature. Okay, that we have to abide by the law. Okay, So this is something we have to do all the configurations related to the backend configurations, okay, from here. And same goes with your adjustment as well. Any kind of adjustment, this is just nothing but a waste type. Okay. Just like I have already explained, okay, the waste type configurations, exactly the same thing. Okay. And with these waste types are permissible under which info types. Okay. Whether it will be going through info type 14, 15, or which one. Okay. That we have to configure here. Okay. So this is something this all are here. Actually, you can see the model waste types. Okay. But ideally, it will be like, or in which personal sub area, which employee subgroup grouping, it is permitted, right? That also you can define here, okay, by coming here, whether it is a one or two or whatever, okay. Whether it is not if it is not permissible, keep it blank, okay. If it is permissible, okay, then it is you can make it like one, okay. Or if it is a waste type is permissible but it is a warning, okay, with warning, okay, that you can, mostly we use 0 or 1, okay, that you can utilize here, okay. Under, suppose in your organization, it is applicable only for a specific person sub area or a specific employee subgroup grouping. Okay. Even the waste type is same, but if it is not applicable for everyone, that you can define here. Okay. So that is something we have to take care whenever you are doing. It's very simple. So just like we do a configuration of the waste types and all that, we have to put it here. Okay. And if you want to define any kind of a defaulting, okay, so that you will be having the default value also. Okay, because for whenever you are creating any garnishment document and all, okay, by default this value will come, whatever the values you are putting here, okay. So garnishment status, garnishment, all this value, okay, so that will be, it will make your life easy, okay. So if you are defining your defaults and all, later on you can also change if it is needed, okay, that will be using from here, okay. And there is something called takeover garnishment table. So this is something I think this is not needed now. Okay. So there is a transaction if you want to copy and if you want to transfer some garnishment order entries and all that you can also do it, but it is not required as such unless and until if you are migrating from an old system to a new system. Okay. So that kind of adjustment also we can do it from here. Okay. So this is all about your related to the master data. Okay. Now after understanding the master data, how to maintain all this thing, processing part is easy one. Okay. So whatever we've already seen in the previous master data configurations. So here you have to check your garnishability of waste types, okay, whether that waste types is garnishable or not, okay. So we can see our waste type, it is already there, okay. So there are around 129 waste types, okay. So you have to check whether that waste types is garnishable or not, okay. So if you go to that particular waste type, okay, you can see there is some so whenever we will be, you see my waste types configurations and all, right? There is a processing class. So for any waste types, okay, this I have covered in the Indian payroll as well. Okay, if you see what some of the last videos towards the Indian payroll, there I have discussed for every waste type we have three things. Did you remember what are the three things are there? I generally talk about. There are three types of classes. One is the processing classes, another is the evaluation classes, another is the accumulation classes. This is a common question you will be asked in the typical interview. Okay. So whenever I'm saying a
Okay.
processing class, right, how the waste types will be getting processed is a part of the payroll process. Okay. So that will be we generally configure in the processing class. Okay. And when it comes to accumulation, whether that is accumulated or accrued, okay, whether it's a monthly, yearly, or how this that behavior, okay, we capture in the accumulation classes. Okay. Similarly, there is something called evaluation class. It is mostly from a reporting purpose, whether that waste types, okay, will be appearing in your pay slip or any particular forms. Okay. So that things we from a reporting point of view that we take care in the evaluation class. This is a very common question in the interview. They will be asking, what are the meaning of a processing class? What are the meaning of accumulation class? What are the meaning of evaluation class? And how do you define those things? Okay. So those things may be asked. Okay. But here from a garnishment point of view, if you see for this particular waste type, okay, I have already selected 59, the processing class. Okay. And here there is a column here. So called P. Okay. So here I can define here, okay, whether I want to use it for non-exempt, whether you want to use for garnishment or whether you want to use it, not use at all. Okay, that means zero, value is zero. Okay, and if it is, I want to use it, but it will be a transfer to a disposable net amount with the same sign. That means if I'm entering 100 US dollar, it will be 100 US dollar only. Or if it is a negative sign, okay, if I'm putting 100 US dollar, it will be minus 100 US dollars, sign reversed. Okay. So these are the different options we do have when it comes to garnishment and all, right? You can utilize based on your requirement again. Okay. So I can choose whatever the processing class, okay, how the waste types, this 4097 will be processed in my, whenever I'm doing any kind of salary processing and all, right? That behavior you have to define here. Okay, this is one table. Okay, and the same is applicable for other waste types as well. So this is one of the custom waste type which I have created. Okay. Suppose if you want to see anything related to some other waste types, okay. These are not garnishment waste types, okay, but maybe some uniform allowance you want to check it out, okay, whether it is garnishable or not. Okay, so you can see this is garnishable. That means it will transfer to disposable rate amount. Okay, so whether it will be cumulated or not, that also you define here. Okay, suppose if you want to change anything here, you can change it. Okay, so that way you can look into any of these waste types. Okay, so let's say this is a table. Okay, any of this thing, and you can see for everything, if it is a processing class is 59, okay, that means you'll be understanding that is a garnishment processing class, and depending upon the value, whatever you have decided here, okay, whether it is disposable or not disposable and all, okay, so that part we have to define in this configuration. Okay, so this is something, one of the important topic. Okay, whether that way, which waste test will be garnishable or not. Okay, then after that we have to define also, this is not very important one. Okay, but if you want to define the priorities, yeah, always the childcare is the priority. Okay, if you can see, mostly here these are all a priority number a actually. Okay, what does it mean? So here, if you see here in this example, priority A is the highest one. Okay, so here in my scenario, almost everything is A category only. Okay, except the last one. Okay, voluntary is the C category. Otherwise, everything is an A category. So here we define the category or the priority category here in this okay configuration. Other than that, if any third-party remittance is happening, okay, these are all model waste they are given, but ideally in a typical configuration implementation project, this again you will be having a custom series of waste steps. Not we do not use the standard one. Okay, so in case of standard one, also if you verify garnishment, creditor, and all, okay, you'll be finding all details, which is the processing class, which is the okay, how to use all those evaluation class and all everything they have defined here. Okay, for this particular waste types. Okay, so this one you can explore more and more in detail. Okay, but this is how for every waste type at a waste type level, the garnishment level. Okay, they define those processing class, evaluation class, okay, accumulation class, everything. Okay, so that is something we have to consider in our implementation. Okay, similarly, these are the same things like similar kind of thing. If you are doing any kind of adjustment, whether you are having any priority or not, this one I have not used for frequently. Okay, but SAP has given any options here. If you are doing any kind of adjustment, okay, then you can utilize this. So similarly here also from a payroll perspective, okay, suppose I want to release it. Okay, so how does it look like? Okay, so overall processing class, your accumulation class, and all that. If you want any changes here, okay, that you can utilize this table. Whether it will be what you want a amount, or you want a, like it must be cumulative in the current year only, or it must not be cumulative in the current year. Okay, that you can define. So accordingly, system will be calculate. Okay, accordingly they will be providing you the total amount. Okay, so this is something we can do an adjustment and all. So now coming here, let me something happened. Just a minute, I'm not able to scroll. Yeah. So going back. Okay, so these are the different things. I'm not going in detail again. So you can just see all the calculation, how does it work. Okay. And the last part is the letters here. This is all a document. Okay. So whenever you are putting some garnishment and all, okay. So if the person is on leave, okay, you can have a trigger for leave of absence. If a person is leaving the organization, you can have a termination letter. Okay. If you want to create a form for notice letters, okay. So here you can see these are all form editor. Just like in SAP, we do have a form, okay, and you can create this form name here, okay. So at present, I think I do not have any form here, okay. Otherwise, you can create a form, okay. So I think they're not allowing. specify country grouping and form name. Okay. So let's say I'll be choosing, I think for US, I do not have any form here in technically. Okay, let me check it out. Yeah, I do have few. So generally people used to create a payslip also from earlier from this page. Okay, so you can see there is something called standard unit remuneration statement. Okay, so if I have anything for garnishment as well. Okay, garnishment answer letter. Okay, so that also I can create it from here. Okay, garnishment notice letter, garnishment termination letter. Okay, so all those details I can create it from here. Okay, so this is something I will be choosing. Let's say, and I can create a form. I think some issues already, some form is already existing. Okay, what I can do, so simply I go there, and here you can define. Okay, because whenever you are having a notification, right, you can give a notice to the employee and or the payroll department so that they will be deciding how much amount they'll be deducting and all those stuff, right? So here you can see all the details, how the garnishment letter will be looking like, okay, structure of it, from whom to whom regarding what, okay? So that letter you can design from this page. Okay, this is something we call it HR form editor. Okay, you can change the background of this, you can change all the things. If you want to change, this is the way we create the payslip as well. Okay, so if I go here, okay, if I go here, what fields I want in every section, you can see in this, I want employee name, I want employee number. So all the technical fielding you can find out here. SSN number, okay, how the form will be looking like and all. Accordingly, you can define this entire forms here. Okay, so this is something not so difficult, but you have to understand. Okay, and also if any rules are there, if you want to create some rules here, generally we do not do too much. Okay, but any applicant, it is any if rule, if condition, any else condition, if it is needed for you. Okay, that also you can define here. Okay, but it is a very at a very complex level. If you're having such kind of complex requirement, you can do that. Okay, otherwise you can simply skip it. Okay, this is something related to your HR forms, which I talked about, and all kind of letters follow the similar kind of process, whether it's a notice letter or an answer letter. Okay, answer letter means actually HR has to give them some answer. Okay, what exact? So I think this is something not existing, or any kind of vendor, you want to reply to the vendor and all. Okay, those kind of things you can create, and you can assign your forms to different letter types as well. Because it may happen for California, you have a different letter for. So for your different states, you can have a different letter. Simply you can copy this. Okay, maybe so you choose another state. Okay, let's say I'll be choosing another state for Arizona. Okay, so here again, what kind of form? Maybe I have a different kind of form. Okay, so that letter, let's say somebody has got bankrupted. Okay, I'll be creating a letter for him. Okay, or somebody is getting terminated or answer leave of absence, he's going for a leave, long leave. Okay, so those kind of letter I can attach here. So here, after you create your letters and all, you can simply attach those letters by coming here. Okay, this is something you have to do here. Okay, so this is also the option of a user exit. This is again a technical. Okay, you have to take help from your ABAP, just like a baddie. We have something called user exit also. Suppose you have to do some certain things you have to skip, and you do not want to skip. Okay, there is a concept called exit, user exit. Okay, in that will be as per your requirement. Again, you have to talk to your ABAP technical consultant, and they will be helping you all creating this thing. Okay, so from a technical side of
These
it,
letters mandatory.
yeah, tell me.
It's these letters are not mandatory, right? This notice
Not
letter,
mandatory.
answers letter.
Not
Uh,
mandatory, but ideally SAP has given an option. Okay. Generally,
uh,
if your
uh,
company is using SAP, right, why they want to create it manually? If SAP has given an option to create it from the system, right? Definitely it can be created from the
mm,
system itself, and it will be generated and it will be notified. So let's say employee, it will be given to the employee to see this in their uh, ESS or in their email box. Okay, if they want to do it, okay, that you can configure from here, and they will be getting those letters directly from there. Okay, so this is something SAP has
it
given
is
to the
mandatory configuration for this payroll, garnishment or under that any other. It is mandatory configuration. These notice letters,
Configuration
announcers letter.
configurations, actually,
Oh,
ideally we do it. Okay, ideally we do it because SAP has given this
mm,
option. In my all projects, I have created all these
okay.
things. Okay. So if you ask me, it is a generally payslip, right? Suppose if someone similar to payslip is a mandatory, right? Generally, if you are working, if a person is
Uh,
working for an organization, definitely you will be given a payslip, right? Similarly, suppose you are charging something, suppose you are deducting employees from the salary, right? Then definitely you have to give an letter to him that this is something we are deducting from your salary, and this is a notice. And let's say you are there's a legal notice from bank or some other organizations that the employee has to pay, right? So what the HR will be receiving that, and after HR receives that, then HR will be sending a notice to the employees, okay? And there can be some communication between employee and HR, right? Those kind of communication, instead of doing it in an email, rather you use this letter. Yeah, so that is the purpose here. You will utilize this letter,
okay.
and automatically system will also trigger those letters, some of the letters. Okay, you can also use user exits and all if you want to automate it. Okay, you can take help from ABAPR and all. You can utilize that. Okay, but overall, from a technical perspective, master data is a must. Okay, and here also in processing part, we have seen how the waste types will be getting processed and what are the respective waste types and all. Okay, we have seen. And the third part is the letters, where exactly is an outcome. Okay, once everything is okay, and you have to send those letter to the respective employees or respective vendor. Okay, also you may have to send a notification once you have received from a court or on. So you have to also send a letter to them, right? That we have processed these things for our employees, and this is something we have to do. Okay, so that kind of letters also you can generate. So again, depends on the organization. Some organization they mostly they use SAP. Okay, if not, there are some other ways of doing it also. Outside SAP also they can do it. But if they're doing from SAP, it is seamless. Okay, you don't have to track somewhere else. So that's the way. Okay, generally this is something we do it from a SAP point of view. But this is something, these are the only three things, three major category where we do all the configuration, nothing more than this. Okay. Other than this, there is something called technical configuration. So I will be just showing you what exactly we do in the technical side of it. There is something called specific if I go to sub schema or a schema, you can say, okay. And specific to garnishment, we have to remember there are two sub schema, major one, UZRN, UZRN. How to remember it? U for US, GRN stands for garnishment. Okay, this is how I have remembered. Okay, if you go inside this,
Okay.
how the garnishment calculation happens, you don't have to worry. Okay, so this is something SAP has already given. Okay, and this is a block of code. Okay, so what does it do? Whenever you're doing the calculation, system will check the current period, that means the actual period, okay, and it will be importing the previous result. Suppose the person is existing in the previous, let's say he's an old employee, right? And in case if it is not an old employee, it will skip this particular step, okay. Then after that, system will read the garnishment, okay, whatever the garnishment is already has been taken, if it is already there, okay. Then after that, okay, if is there any adjustment, okay, if you have done any kind of adjustment, it will check. If not, it will go to the next step, okay. And next it will be saved info type, or although if you're specific to that, and we have already talked about the 59 processing class, okay. The 59, whatever, wherever there's any waste types, it is falling under your processing class, your 59 and all. Accordingly, it will check, and all the respective waste types, okay, it will be processing from your based on your active garnishment all in the results table. That is your RT, means in your results table, okay. And if there is any adjustment is happening, okay, so it will check the difference, and after that, system will calculate your disposable net. Okay, so as I was saying, right, there is a net income, there is a disposable net income. Okay, so that calculation will happen in the system itself, and system will calculate those gross and what is the disposable net income. Okay, then finally all these things they will be saving it. Okay, they will be here the active garnishment, and for that particular period, they will check. And if there is an unused garnishment order, let's say for sometimes that is not relevant, it will take forward. And okay, so there may not be that there will not be any deduction. Suppose if it's not applicable, it will not be deducted. Okay, this is how a typical sub schema. This is a schema under schema UZRN. Okay, so UZRN is one of the sub schema under US payroll. Okay, so which is relevant for your garnishment calculations. Okay, in case if your organization mostly if some organization is having some custom thing, they have to add it. Simply you have to copy it. Okay, so you use it instead of U, you use it as Z. That means a custom, and click it. Okay, so then you are, if any changes required to do in your garnishment schema and all, you can see now it is editable. Okay, suppose I want to do some changes as per my need and all, right? So I can utilize, I can choose, and I can add some line items. I can choose some changes, do some changes here instead of this. Okay, these are the different functions. There are different parameters if I want to change. But again, it's up to the organization. Okay, it's not always mandatory. But ideally, we always copy the standard schema. Okay, and we do those kind of adjustment here. Okay, so this is one of the sub schema. Another schema is there that is called UGRR. Okay, UGRR is another sub schema that is for retro calculation. Suppose there is a mistake happened, okay, for some employee, okay, and he was not supposed to, and there is a court order, some business happened, and the court has decided, no, 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 don't want to, whatever I have deducted, I have to give back. I do not want to take any more deduction, rather. So in that case, you have to delete your record, part of the garnishment, and system will do the retro calculation. Okay, so you will be getting back whatever you have already has been deducted. Okay, that repayment will happen. Okay, so those kind of calculation, the retro calculation, there is a separate schema or sub schema, I can say. So this is sub schema where exactly the calculation will happen. So this is how SAP is one of the strongest product in the market, where all the calculations are actually in by default they have given in the standard. Okay, in the standard program everything is well done. So simply you have to copy it again, make it your own. Okay, so that it will be relevant for you in your organization if you are doing any changes and all. Okay, and you do what are the changes required in your process to other organization, you can do it here. And same thing, okay, you can utilize. Okay, so these are two schema you have to remember, or sub schema I will say. Okay, and which is utilized in your garnishment. Okay, suppose if you go for a US specific payroll schema. This is your US standard schema. Okay. If you go inside the US schema, okay, you can see there are certain things in the parameter one. Okay. So here, how the original schema has been called here. You can see UGRN is there. Can you see that? UGRN. Okay. So this is the sub schema, and where the calculation in your main program of your US payroll. Okay, this is the point where in the step number 220, okay, your calculation of your garnishment is happening. Okay, so this is the one of the major thing. And in case if you are using retro, okay, that is part of your 280 line item. Okay, here is UZRR, that is your garnishment retroactive. Okay, in but generally we do not use the directly the standard schema. Again, we copy this schema to our own domain. Let's say I'll be putting it Z00. Okay. In that, I will be using the US payroll, and inside that, I will be choosing my own thing. Okay. Because for garnishment, what I have used, not U, rather I have used Z, right? So I will be just changing it to Z. Okay. And similarly, for normal garnishment calculation also, I have not used the standard one. Suppose I'm using the custom one, I will simply put in Z here. Okay, this is the process we follow whenever you are copying any kind of schema editing, you are doing it. Okay, so but again, inside that, lot of things are here. Okay, if you want any changes, especially for the client requirement, okay, you can utilize those stuff. Okay, but when it comes to schema, sub schema, these are the something we have to remember. Okay, we use those two main sub schema under the main schema of a US payroll. Okay, so this is something I just thought of sharing with you. Other than that, whatever, just I'm just taking my notes. So whatever is left. So there are certain rules also you have to take care, and that you will be accessing it from another transaction. Okay, that is your PE02. In this rule, there is again a standard. What are the standard rule? I will just show you. Use the IT. This is one of the standard rules for garnishment. Okay, and if you want to delete certain waste types from your input table, because for garnishment we use waste type, processing class is 59. Okay, so if you want to change anything from here, if you want to add any waste type or any eliminate any waste types, okay, that you will be utilizing this table, this rule. Okay, this is one of the rule, and how it will be derived. There is a table for it. Okay, so I will go to that table SM30. and this table is common for every country. Okay, so that table name you have to remember, V512 W underscore D. Not only for US payroll, for any country payroll, it's a common table where we define all of your maintenance class or your not maintenance, it is your accumulation class, your processing class, your evaluation class. Those three things we maintain here. If I go to country grouping 10, okay, and I will so go there. If I go to my specific, let's say customer waste types only, okay, so directly took me to the 4097 because this is the custom waste type I've already created, right? Only I'm allowed to change in the custom waste types, okay? So this is the custom waste type which I have created. So as I was saying, we have three types of classes, okay? One is processing classes, accumulation classes, and one is last one is the evaluation classes, okay? So here, suppose I will tell you the simple one. So if I want waste type assignment in my pay statement as well. Okay, in my pay slip, I also want to showcase the garnishment. Okay, but simply I will be choosing here 11. Okay, whether I want garnishment to be shown in my pay slip or whatever I'm choosing. Okay, reports and all, I'll be choosing here. Suppose I want to overtime, I will choose 10. Okay, suppose I want to choose any kind of earning or taxes and all. Okay, I can choose that because we are talking about garnishment for this particular waste type 40997, I will be choosing this garnishment here. Okay, this is from a reporting. Evaluation means you always remember simple word reporting. Any kind of a reports you do, any kind of a forms you are generating. Okay. So from a reporting point of view or from a payslip point of view, okay, if you want to use, you can choose your respective value. Okay. Similarly, when it comes to accumulation, okay, generally whenever you are creating any kind of waste types, whether that waste type to be added to your gross amount, whether that waste type is a employer benefit contribution. Okay, simply you check that box here. Okay, so that is something we have to see here as a part of the configuration. But when it comes to garnishment waste type, okay, it is not applicable because it is not a payment. Okay, but so that you have to choose your respective accumulation waste type, that particular accumulation class here. Okay, but when it comes to the processing class, okay, we already know the processing class is 59 for us. Okay, directly we will go to the processing. So you can see there are so many processing classes are there, but all are not applicable for this particular waste type. Okay, so there are processing class 10, 15, 17, 18. So you do not ask me why this is not sequentially, because this is something designed by SAP. Okay, this is a SAP product. Okay, so they have defined in a such a way this number are not sequential. Okay, but this is how they have defined it. Okay, so if I go directly to 59, we can see for waste type 4097, processing class 59 is for garnishment. Okay, and here I have defined whatever the definition is for my requirement. I can define it here. Okay, whether it is used for garnishment or not used for garnishment. If I am putting as a blank, that means that waste type will not be used for a garnishment calculation. Okay, so accordingly, I have to define. This is also one of the important configuration. Whenever we are doing any kind of waste type configuration for garnishment, you have to ensure your what is the processing class 59. This is the most important one. And the accumulation class, this is not so important one. And evaluation class, you have to choose this one. Okay, whatever is relevant for you. Okay. So these are the three things which I thought of sharing with you. I talked about the rules, I talked about the processing class, all these things, right? Other than that, I don't think is there anything. Just a minute. This is the one of the rule UZIT, and you can always read other documentations here if it is available. Yeah. So regarding this, how this rule is working and all, right? So the entire explanation you have to see here. And as I was talking about in this documentation also they are maintaining the processing class 59 must be maintained. Okay, this is the most important one. Okay, if this is the most important whenever you are tackling any kind of interviews and all, right? If you remember this much, this is more than enough. Even in the implementation also we do the same thing. Okay, so to take care, the processing class 59 is very important for a garnishment point of view. Okay, so this is one of the rule here, UZIT. I'm just checking if any other rules are there. This is another rule called UZDN. Okay, this is for your disposable net. Okay, this is called UZDN. Okay, so this is again important one. If I go here, so this is your calculation. It calculates your disposable net amount. Yes, based on your configuration, based on your processing class 59, how it has been configured. System will calculate what will be your disposable net income from here, and the rule will be looking like this. Okay, So based on your processing class 59, system will add your waste type, whatever the waste type you have created, right? And here you can see there is something called slash G 00 slash G 02. These are your garnishment specific waste types. Okay, so your garnishment specific secondary waste type, I will say. Okay, and this value system will, how you will be checking what is the meaning of a slash G 00 slash G 02. That you can find out here again. If I go here, slash 002, no, this one display country grouping. I did everything. Slash, I'll putting a position here, slash V00. You can see the details here, slash G00, slash G01. These are all specific to garnishment. These are not, you don't have to create it manually. System will create for you. Okay, if I want to go detail about it, I can see the disposable net. Okay, all the details I can see. And if I select here the next entry, this is what for garnishment. Okay, and the next one is, they're all secondary waste types. These are non-exempted. Okay, and this is for some. Okay, these are 4 waste types. Okay, and if you want to learn more about this waste type, if there is any information, you can get it here. I think there is no documentation as such. Okay, but for some of the waste types, generally SAP provides documentation as well. Okay, so these are 4 things you have to remember when it comes to your particular rule which I talked about, net calculation. Okay, disposable net amount calculation. Okay, so this will be taken care in this particular rule. Generally, we do not change much. Okay, unless and until if it is really needed. Okay, this is something you have to remember. This is another rule. Okay, we create. Okay, other than that, we talked about schema, we talked about rules, and there is something called function as well. Class MPE04. This transaction is used for checking the functions. Okay. So what I will do, there is a specific function for garnishment as well, UZARN, ARN. Okay. So this function, what it will do, if you go inside this function, this is a specific function for garnishment itself. Okay. And for this function, as it is only applicable for US, you might have seen only US is already ticked. So this is again a standard one. Don't have to change anything much. Okay. Just for your understanding, I'm just explaining. Okay. And what are the your info types? Well, as I already discussed, these are the garnishment specific info types: 194, 195, and 216. Okay, these 3 things we'll be using for garnishment. One is for 194 is for garnishment document, 195 is garnishment order, 216 is for adjustment. Okay, as I talked earlier, so you have to just check in your earlier video, which I have already talked about this info type, how to maintain these info types. Okay, so you'll be getting a fair idea about it. Okay. Other than that, there is something called input parameters, output parameters. For every functions, SAP provides there is something called input parameter. What are your input? These are again all standard. Okay. So SAP will be having all this garnishment order. What are the info types? Okay, like 194, 195, 216. These are all of your input to the system, right? So for that reason, SAP mentioned it is as a input parameter. The RT means for results table, okay, input table, all the things SAP will be providing. Okay. And other than that, when it comes to the output parameter, so these are your output parameters. Okay, how, so this again is really technical. Okay, but for your understanding, suppose somebody will be asking, they will not be asking that detail. Okay, but whenever you'll be explaining to an ABAPer and all, you may require it. Okay, for that reason I'm just explaining. Okay, so this is one of the function for specific to your garnishment, okay, which you use for any kind of waste type deduction, waste type creation. It is happening, the calculation. Okay, all the calculation will be happening inside the your rule. Okay, this function, okay, will do all the things in the system. Okay, so this is something I just thought of sharing with you. Yeah, I think overall that's it. Okay, so when it comes to the garnishment all, but I will be recommending you to read one of the documents which I'll be sharing with you. Okay. Other than that, there is a in my drive, I'll be sharing one of the workbook for garnishment. Let me open that. Suppose whenever you're taking the requirement for garnishment, right? There is a workbook. So this is, I think it is for a US payroll, employee central payroll, but same thing we can utilize for your on-premise payroll as well. Okay. So this is something I have created. Okay, which you can use garnishment configurations. So same thing, like document category, whatever things we have seen it today, right, in our implemented in the system, right? So same thing you have to take in the requirement format. Okay, so all these things, all the field details, you have to take it from here. Garnishment, what kind of garnishment document you'll be having. Okay, already we have discussed all these things. If something is not there, you have to create it. And also I provided the path also. Okay, which navigation path you have to follow, and there is a table name also. If you're going through SM30, which table you have to use. Okay, this is the document category. Similarly, we have a document originator. We talked about today quote, right? Suppose is there any new thing for your organization, government agency or some other agency, you have to choose that originator. Okay, similarly for remittance rule, this already I have shown you in the system, but whenever you're talking to the client, okay, generally you take the requirement in this format. Okay, so SAP will not be providing to this. Mostly the client organizations, mostly if you're working in a project, again, any consulting company, generally people create all these things. Okay, and you have to verify this thing. If you're already there, you don't have to create. Okay, so this is something, this document I will be sharing with you today. Company rule, service charge, already we have discussed this thing today. Okay, only thing is I've documented all these things in a single sheet. We call it workbook. Okay, and same thing you'll be utilizing for your, this is I have used for a success factor only. And because in employee central payroll, it doesn't change. Okay, so you can see it's a SFSS. Okay, same thing will be applicable for employee central payroll also, because the front end only changed, but the back end still you have to do the same configuration. Okay, this model will not be going to change. What are the, again, the wage types also have given here, what kind of percentage you'll be using and all. Again, you will discuss with your client all this levy text, all this. So this document I'll be sharing with you. Okay. Other than this, there is a SAP press book also. Okay, which I think I did I talk about the SAP press book with you? SAP press US
No,
payroll.
no,
Did I discuss this earlier? No, right?
no, no. We did
No,
not
right?
discuss.
So in that also, I think I'll be sharing this with you. I think it's already there in my portal. Okay, but still, if it is not, and then I will be sharing this copy. And you read through. I always refer this as a guideline. Okay, it's a very standard. Even after 10 years, also you will be following the same thing. Okay, technically there can be some changes, but conceptually there will not be much changes. Okay, if you see here, I'm following this guide only. Okay, so garnishment. So if you go to this particular chapter, okay, so only some 20-30 pages. Okay, so they explained everything. Okay, so what is the garnishment process flow? Okay, what are the garnishment info types? How do you maintain that? This I have covered in my earlier video of garnishment, if you watch it. And the technical part, from configuration part, I have not covered in my earlier video, which I discussed today. Okay, so you can have a look into it. Okay, this guide will be enough. Okay, for you to technically crack any kind of interview. Even I use this one in my interviews. I recommend this book. Okay, for my students, any students. Okay, only at the, they've also given some examples also, like I told you about G00, G01, but I didn't explain you the example. Okay, so they have explained here the
Okay.
examples. Take some time. Okay, so go through this, the schema, sub schema, which I have told to you. Okay, you can have a get more detail about it, the UZIT, all the rules which I have talked about. Okay, so those details will be available. It is more than enough to crack any interview. Just I think it's just 10, 20 pages, right, like that. Okay, so this guide is also I'll be sharing with you today. So this document, and I think this is more than enough for you to configure the garnishment. Okay, along with that, I'll be sharing this note as well, which I have prepared myself. Okay, hands-on. Hmm. Hands-on means only the four things are there: how to create a remittance rule, how to create a vendor, how to process a garnishment, and all, right? And from a configuration point of view, these are three data points you have to enter. Okay, these are the things I have to give. Okay, and these are the learning outcomes. So at the end of the garnishment process, you will be able to understand these are the things. What is the meaning of a order type? What is the meaning of a garnishment priority, garnishment amount? Okay, so these details, these three things I will be sharing with you in the I'll be uploading in the portal today, and accordingly we will be going through some further. Okay, I think that's all for today's sessions. Any questions? I'll take a pause here.
Yeah. No, no questions. Actually.
Yeah, I think this is more than enough for any end of interview, again, for an implementation point of view. Okay, so I'll mark it as a tick here today. And tomorrow, I'll be sharing these documents with you. And tomorrow we'll be going for a new topic that is I never covered in my earlier sessions. So although I covered it for an Indian payroll and all, but for US payroll also very similar thing. So what is a claim? What, how do we handle if you have paid something extra? How we can recover that? Overpayment is if it is happening. Okay, so claim and accruals, maybe these two topics we'll be covering tomorrow's session. Okay, so that's the plan.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, thanks
Can
for your time. Yeah, tell me.
okay? Can you open that? I shared this one, right? Topics.
Okay, okay, okay. Sure. The list of topics. Okay,
Okay.
let me open that.
Me. So, uh,
Okay, let me go to search the chart. This is in the payroll only, I think. US payroll. Hmm, I think I kept it somewhere else. Just a minute. On premise. I think this is the one. This one, right?
yeah, this one. Just open that
Yeah.
US payroll. Okay.
US
And
payroll.
so, how much? Like up
Mhm.
to I can put those topics. Like there are different topics is there, right?
Hmm.
Uh, so you can check it like how much I have to prepare. Up to have to prepare. There is a different
Hmm.
topics is there. Maybe so
Okay.
configuration 14, 15 big configuration. After that garnishment, these things.
Huh.
Of
So garnishment today we have covered this one. Okay, so this is we already
uh,
seen exam. So they have given for only 4 items, but I got more than that. Okay, so I will give you my list.
hmm,
Okay, in my list there are so many things. But if you have seen my garnishment list, right? So this many topics we
hmm,
do have. Okay, these are the different lists. I have more than that. Okay, so I'll already this is already covered. Okay, federal rules means
yeah,
all of your policies you have to know it. Okay, levy rule chart also that
okay.
is also like what kind of rules you will be having, what kind of exemption you will be having, those kind of stuff. Okay, and other than that, 940
Hmm,
yesterday we have seen it. Okay, the reporting. This is all
hmm,
actually coming under your tax reporter. They call it a forms here, but actually it is a tax reporter. Okay, all of your tax reporters
okay.
stuff, all the forms.
But
Okay,
you
you have to
need to
download and all.
configure, right? These terms,
No, no, no. This
we are
things
not going to
these are all standard.
import
These
it
are all standards only.
standard.
Okay. Generally, we do not touch,
Hmm,
but you should be aware
hmm,
of it. Okay. What does this form do? Somebody will be asking. You should not be blank. Okay. You should be able to answer what
right.
does this form. Maybe you can write some short notes. Okay. I would like to see from you. Okay. So maybe you can write some short
Okay.
notes. What is the form W for? 4 5 lines. Okay. So that you will be able to explain the same thing in an interview. Okay. This is regarding the forms. And similarly, for taxation point of view, also, these are all I have covered. Okay, so like tax authority, tax processes, okay, all the things. So
Hmm,
saving, okay, taxation. So all the these are part of your taxation part. Okay, these are all part of your taxation and garnishment we have already covered. Forms also I have covered is a part of that. But this is again very generic one. Most of the things are standard. In case if anything is
okay.
needed specific to for your organization, you may have to tweak it. Okay, otherwise these are all mostly standard. And from a US payroll point of view also, like this is some what kind of taxes you are having. Okay, so those are the different info types. Okay, whatever we already discussed, those info types: federal tax, state tax, county tax. Okay, city level, school district level tax. Okay, and also like in US we do have generally monthly and weekly payroll, right? Some people will be having monthly payroll, some people will be having weekly payroll. Okay, that is something we have to understand. Okay, more or less we are just ticking all these things whatever we are discussing. Okay, I'm following my flow. Okay, so I am comfortable with that, but at the same time I'm also checking if something is missing. I don't think so. You'll be getting more than this whatever you have listed here. Okay, but ensure you are covering, we're covering. I have to ensure everything whatever you have here. Okay, maybe you can prepare your notes accordingly as per this notes. Okay, and I will be looking into it. If anything is missing, definitely I'll be looking into it. And also there are some models here. These are all your specific. This is nothing specific to US payroll, like how to configure info type 8 14 15, all these things, right? These are again very specific, not specific to US payroll. These are common to whatever, whether you are working for
Common.
Indian payroll or it is but any country payroll, Belgium payroll or US UK payroll, more or less same. Okay, nothing much difference. Okay, this is something you have to understand. Same goes with your absence evaluations also. This is also very same. Nothing much different. Okay, but we will try. So this is something I will cover as well. FMLA and all. Taxon actually, this is a very generic one they have given. Okay, like BSI and all, SUI. So already we have seen a couple of tables already. Okay, but more or less similar thing. So where garnishment also they have talked about. Yes, today also I have talked about, right. So remittance rule I have covered. Category document category originator we have covered. Okay. So our disposable the processing class 59 I have already shown to you. Okay. So all the things, actually, those maintenance, all those specific info, those three info types which I talked about, 194, 195 to 216. Okay, so all these things they've already explained. Okay, but it is very helpful as a checklist. Okay, we can always go back and check whatever we have covered, whether it is there or not. Okay, so this is something we'll be definitely ensure we're covering everything from here. Okay, so don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, anything else you would like to highlight?
No, that's it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So US payroll, yesterday's video I've already, I think, uploaded. Did you get a chance to look into it? It is already in the
Yes.
Okay, so you'll be getting today's video also after 2 hours or 3 hours once it is processed. Okay, I'll be trying my best to upload here. So you will also another changes yesterday I have done as per your feedback and all. When it comes to your on-premise payroll, that also I received the feedback from other students as well, right? So this is something I will just show you what I have done the changes. So yeah, this is for US payroll, which you will be opening. And another one is just like your on-premise SAP HCM, that is your this one, HR. Just a minute. HR Tech, Core HR Tech, Empress Central. Just a minute. Okay, so it will be in the silver only. Let me go there. So inside the silver, so we have on-premise. So little, I have done a tagging yesterday. Okay, so what I have done yesterday, all of these modules I have been tagged. Suppose if it is general discussion, I've made it a general. Okay, if it is OM, if it is a PA, okay, I just put a two prefix here, OMPA. Then if it is a time management, if it is a general one, I put it like this. Okay, and payroll will not be available here. Payroll, because we have a dedicated module for payroll. Okay, that will be finding here. Okay, US payroll. So here towards the end, actually, I have put two video here, and the remaining sessions, what I will do, I will rename it, which I didn't do earlier. Okay, so that you don't have to search every video and which topic is covered in which video. You don't have to. Okay, that I'm planning to do today, and today's video will be uploaded here only. Okay, and all the documentation and all you'll be downloading from here. All the US specific. And yesterday I discussed about your Form 941, all the SAP notes specific to that. That will be definitely go from here. And the PPT, which I was showing to you today, right? This PPT, you can view it from here. You can download from here. Okay, and also like I have seen those three blogs which I yesterday discussed. Okay, you can also look into here. Okay. So this is something I will say. Okay, and any doubt clear class is happening specific to that. This is an ongoing thing. Okay, which will be happening in the upcoming days. Okay, I'll be putting here. Okay, this is our structure which I just thought of sharing with you. Okay. Got it? Anything else you would like to say?
No, that's it.
Okay, then we will stop here. Again, let's see. Look back tomorrow. Then tomorrow we'll be starting with the claim handling and accrual. This two part I'll be covering. Okay. And I'll be also looking at your system, this sheet. If anything is, I feel it is not covered in my list. Okay, I'll be adding here. Okay, so this is a growing list. Okay, I will try my best to cover it, having a complete coverage of all the topics. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, thank you for your time today. I'll stop recording.
Yeah.